You shaved.
Shaved.
Wow. Changed your album? This is a brave day. Your
I do
album in
this.
the background? Can you
I
hear
do
me?
this every week. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you
You
hear
didn't
me?
say that.
Huh?
You changed your album in the background.
I do every week.
I don't know, man. It was it really okay, fine. You know what? That's fine. Edit that out.
No, we're gonna leave it in.
Oh my God. Okay, so yes, I'm here. Hi, how's it going?
Good. Are you here though?
I am have had such a crazy day. But yes, I absolutely am here. I'm so excited. Okay, so hello.
Hi. We have a lot to talk about.
We have so much to divulge and discuss. First of all, I wanted to talk to you about you moving into your new place because I know we've talked about it
Uh-huh.
and I texted Chelsea,
Yeah.
but I know that you like put shelves up and like you're making it all homey and adorable.
Yeah.
So, are you liking it? What do you feel like is like you love it? You're loving it.
We
That's
love
what
it.
I want to know from like a man standpoint, from a man point.
From a man's point, I love, well, we both like tiny spaces. We don't like a lot of
Yeah.
space stuff. And this is probably the most stuff we've had in a long time because we had to buy a bed for the first time in 8 years and a couch and a dresser. We still
Yeah.
don't really
You're
have
like,
that
we
much
had to
stuff.
buy normal furniture and we'd rather not.
We had to splurge on extravagancies like a table
Yeah.
and a dresser.
Someone had to twist our
So
arm and we buy a cup and then another one and we weren't sharing.
not now we have two cups and it's like, where does it end?
Oh,
Where does
it's
the
like,
madness
are you guys
end?
being like this materialistic? It's just crazy. It's too much.
I just feel like yeah, I feel like we're losing ourselves and all of our stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, over 800 square feet. And I feel like you and Chelsea really have changed. It's changed you.
it's like this week it's um a new set of like measuring spoons. Next week we're buying jet skis.
I
Like,
mean,
where
it
does it?
gets that fast. It can get that
We're gonna
crazy.
get. I'm gonna come home with two Polarises and be like, you led me to this when you bought that new salt shaker and butter
Yes.
dish.
Yeah, you went out and bought two plates and two dessert plates,
Right.
and I got an electric BMW.
And
Hand in hand.
I got,
Hand in hand.
yeah, it's like exactly. So um we're we just have so much stuff now, um
It's
but no, we
okay.
really
Try to stay
it's
grounded.
yeah. Things like this keep me humble.
Right.
Uh
Remember your beginnings.
exactly.
Yes.
No, we
Okay, but
like this. The spot is really good because it's right off the highway. So we're really central to
okay.
everything. And we're still not that far from like our hall and our
Yeah.
friends. We've lived in Warwick for like 8 years and now we're a little bit out of Warwick, but not much, like 5, 10 minutes. So
Okay.
still stay in the area we've lived in for 8 years. So we like it a lot.
Um, so when you guys found that place from somebody, like a friend was renting it out, or you just are renting it from somebody random?
We knew eventually we were going to have to move from where we lived with our friends because our friends were going to come back from Cayman and then we were going to need to find a place to live.
Yeah.
So a friend of ours that's a realtor had, I don't know if she helped them buy this place or just heard about them, but she referred us to them and them to us. And they were going to build out their garage into a space, or they wanted to.
Okay.
So, like the wall behind me, that's like
Yeah.
where the garage door is. Right behind this wall is the garage door. So if you're looking
Oh,
at the house, it just looks like a garage.
okay, okay.
So our place is the size of what a normal like two-car garage would be.
Which
So
isn't that, I mean, it's not that bad. That's
no, we
pretty,
love it.
that's enough, right? That's plenty.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing we've lived in, and well, other than the house with the girls.
So it
But
does feel, so when you guys got married, you didn't like discuss, hey, I want to be living in like a tiny home or in like a movable home. But, or did you talk about that?
We were like 20 and 23. We didn't discuss anything.
You
We didn't
discussed,
discuss the things we were supposed to discuss, let alone,
let alone a home arrangement.
yeah, like things that you normally should discuss.
You're
Extra
like,
stuff.
do I bring my Nintendo 64 into our marriage? And Chelsea's like, what's that?
Yeah. When we moved into the condo, I set up like the two big speakers with the TV in the middle and all the movies down
No,
below. And she was like, this is not gonna be a thing
this
that we do.
can't be right.
A what? A bachelor pad. Yeah, this is not gonna be a
Yeah,
bachelor.
bachelor pad. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then she was like, and we're gonna get these couch and love seat combo, which was like Crate and Barrel. And I was like,
Oh,
we could just
high
find
dollar.
something. We could just find something on like internet. And then she found the literally the most comfortable couch I've ever been on in my entire life.
Of
And we
course.
had it until we for 10 years until we moved to New York, and our friends bought our couch and then they had it for years. So she
Oh,
was right on that one.
yeah. Well, and I mean, if you're going to get something and you're going to spend a little bit of money, I'd say most people would say, Crate and Barrel, they've got a lot of women wrapped around the finger. But then you actually go to someone's house and you sit on it and you're like, I get it. I get it.
I got it.
And then
And,
you did get it,
and then I
literally.
got it. And then
That's
and then,
what's next. After you buy that little thing that opens pickle jars easily, Crate and Barrel. Next on the
mm-hmm.
He doesn't need the thing that opens pickle jars. His hands do it.
I got a thing that opens pickle jars. It's right here.
Okay. Okay, you know what? This isn't Joe Rogan podcast about how strong men are. Okay. Some of us like the squishy thing. So when you were talking, you guys don't know what I'm talking about? Like just the stupid thing that your
Oh
parents
yeah.
had like in a drawer that would like collect dust.
Yeah.
You're like flapping it, and you're like, what is this? Oh, it opens up a jar.
Opens
Like,
jars.
wow, my parents are weaklings. My dad's hands probably could open a pickle jar on his own as well. When you said the thing about you set up the two TVs, that reminded me of the fact, oh, I think there's this new genre of guy that I'm realizing. I didn't know it was a genre, but I do now because my mom gave me the Avalon, right? Like the Toyota Avalon, their old
Oh
car.
yeah.
Yeah, she's like, we want you to have it. And I was like, okay, cool. We have a car, but all right. What did Darren do immediately to the car? And I was like, oh my gosh, you've done
Subwoofer.
this. What was it?
Subwoofer.
Sound system immediately. Are you one of those guys too?
Not really. I get it. I do
You
listen.
get it? Okay.
Like I listen to a lot of music and I listen to it in the car a lot. So I appreciate like listening to it in a loud format.
So that's what he
I
keeps
don't think I've
saying.
ever done that with a system. I never put a system in a car, I don't think.
So every car that we've ever owned since literally the day, like when you were setting up your double TVs,
One TV,
Darren was
double speakers, one TV.
double speakers, one TV. Darren was putting in a brand new speaker in my Dodge Neon that was leaking water from the trunk into the back seats on the floor. But you could like pump out some tunes. Like that thing was never, the speakers never blew. It was like hundreds of dollars. So we get this Toyota Avalon, and I get in it the other day, and there's like a teeny weeny little microphone on the top, like probably the kind that I need for this podcast, is now attached to my parents' old car, and it's a touch screen in
Yeah.
a Toyota Avalon.
Yeah.
Good.
And you thank God for Darren every day of your life
Yes.
because he is
A gem.
a gem.
He's a
The
gem.
best.
He did it to the Beamer too, the old BMW.
Yeah,
Put in
good.
a touchscreen in that. And I kid you not, after I got in the car, I was like, wow, that is so crazy. And so I brought it up. I was like, I think you've done this to every car we own. And he was like, being in the car is an important place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you do a lot of thinking and you do a lot of listening to music and a lot of jamming out. And so it's important. And I was like, wow, that is so accurate. So now I mean, I love it. I'm fine with it. But it did make me laugh when I got in my mom's old Avalon and it was like this high-end system in there.
He knows what to do.
Yeah. Oh, he knew what to do. That BMW is like a Tesla at this point. I'm about to rip the BMW off of it and just put Tesla on the back. Oh yeah.
Nice. How's Darren? What's new with Darren?
He's doing really good. So he's training for the marathon still for the
Yeah.
Azores. So he did his longest miles the past 2 weeks. So he had to do a 16 mile, an 18 mile, and then he ran 20 miles the other night. He got home at 10:30. I think it took him 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was funny because now this is a whole other subject, but we did the 10x, right? So not to, push anything or not push things, but he is doing the 10x and so am I, where you do the blood test and all that. You can listen to that guy's podcast too. Well, not his podcast, but being interviewed. I read some articles about it on Reddit and people were kind of like, I don't know, this guy, what's his deal? But we wanted to try it.
I don't know what 10x is. Tell me what 10x is real quick.
Okay, so it's basically like this guy. We'll have to put a link. We'll put a link in. But he started a company called 10x Health, and they basically go into your body as, we feel like personally, you and I mean, we know that the body is capable of so many things. And if we all were perfect bodies, we would be able to do so many things. So what they do is they look at like your labs, they look at your DNA, they look at your genetics, they look at your blood work. And then they're like, here's the things that you were deficient in just yourself. Here's the things you were deficient in from your parents. These are the reasons why you might feel the complaints that you've talked to us about. So Darren had his complaints. I had mine complaints. Obviously, everyone has their things, anxiety or ADD, or I'm tired all the time, whatever. Just a bunch of different things they talk about. Anyway, so then they start you on this stuff to basically try to like help you feel better. So we went off all of our normal like B12 and all those things. And now we're just doing what they recommended. It's not cheap, so I'm not trying to push anyone to do anything. But
if you push them, then you can maybe get it cheaper.
But if I push it 10x,
and you can be like, follow the link below and
hit me up.
10x / Melissa for
yeah. I would need like a 70% discount to continue this lifestyle.
Oh man.
Just kidding. No, but it is, I mean, we've only been on it for a week. No, we've only been on it for 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens. But part of it is injectable. Like you are injecting like a certain type of like protein or peptide like in your body, stuff like that. So it's a whole new ball game for us. Very intimidating, but they were really good about it. So he's been doing that too. Like while he's trying to train, he's been also trying to do this other thing. So it's been a little bit stressful, but I do think there's parts of it that have helped him and parts of it that we're still trying to figure out if it's helping him or not. Because his problem is sleep.
Yeah.
So if anyone listens to this and has options for sleep, hit us up in the DMs. And I don't mean melatonin. We're talking decades of bad sleep. We're talking we've tried the things.
Like horse tranquilizer? Tried the horse tranquilizer? Benadryl?
I would love to have a horse tranquilizer for him every evening. That would be great. For all the reasons. He snores like crazy. He has sleep apnea. He has, restless leg syndrome. You name it, he got it.
What is restless leg syndrome?
He's got restless horse leg syndrome.
It's just like, do they like kick and just like
constantly kicking? And you can set a timer to it for Darren. I don't know if that's everybody, but you can set a timer. Like with Darren's, I can count like, okay, he just went like with his leg, normally against me because I'm present as well. And then it'll be like 18 seconds later, again, 18 seconds later. It's maddening.
Oh my
it's
God.
maddening. Yes. So that can be like for hours. That can be like 2 hours. So then he'll stop doing that. And then he's doing the, and I'm like, all right, here we go with this again. You know,
Does he
that's
have
not
a
when I,
machine?
no, he needs to do a sleep study for that. And it took everything in him just to go to the doctor and say, I'm not sleeping and I just signed up to do a race that's probably going to kill me. So I probably need to sleep more. And the doctor was like, sleep is the most important thing you can do for your body. You've got to get this under control.
Yeah.
So he's doing the best he can with it. Yeah.
So when's the race?
So it's the end of October. It's 3 days. You run 16 miles, then 18 miles, and then 20 miles on each island. So
In
basically, like,
Portugal.
mm,
Wow.
yeah. So we're gonna fly to the first. We're gonna fly into the main place in Portugal, then take a boat. I think is what they said from there to the first island. Then in the morning they're gonna run the race. When you're done, you go to the next island, run the race on that island. So you do that for 3 days. And then we're gonna have like 3 or 4 days just to do whatever. But then we're gonna go visit Alice and Pedro, Alice Walsh. So she's in Portugal.
Mm,
Okay. But she's in Portugal. So she moved there and met Pedro. And we're gonna go visit them for probably like a little while, like a week maybe.
cool. What are you gonna do while he runs? Like imagine like big sunglasses and like a
Yeah. A
uh,
Mai Tai.
drink, like some
Yeah.
cold drink, and you just be like, woo!
Oh yeah. Oh, I can
Yeah.
cheer him on all day long. No problem. I'll be the biggest
Like
supporter you've ever
trying to
seen.
clap, but also holding your
Yeah.
drink at the same time
Yeah.
thing.
Oh my God. You're doing amazing, sweetie. I'll like do Kris Jenner on Mean Girls when she's like out in the stand, like when they're doing that Christmas song. That's gonna be me. I'm just gonna hold up a sign that's like, it'll be good.
Oh man.
If he completes this, I think he's gonna feel like obviously anyone who would complete something like this is gonna feel incredible and so proud of what they've done and what their body can do.
Yeah.
He doesn't croak. So I don't think he will because he ran the 18 and he was okay. And then he
Yeah.
ran 5 last night and he was okay. But I think he's going to be so proud of himself. So I'm stoked for him. I think it's going to be really, I think
I'm
it's
gonna
going to
be
be,
proud of him.
yeah, I'm going to be super proud of him. It takes so much determination and self sacrifice because he has to stick to this training schedule that he's never done before.
Yeah.
And I already am like the other night, I wanted to go to bed at 9 o'clock and I was like, oh my gosh. But I'm like, you're about to run the most you've ever run in your life. So when he got home, he was all excited. He was sore, but he's just on such a high of what he's
Yeah.
done. I think it's good for him mentally. So I'm very, very happy that he's doing it because I think it's like it's making him feel really good. And I'm happy that he feels good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you have that in end of October. What other trips do you have this fall?
So let's see. For fall, I think things are gonna be dying down after this summer. Don't you feel like after COVID, it was like everyone went a little wild, like, oh my gosh, we can finally do stuff together. Yay. And now it's like, okay, I'm done doing stuff. I need a break. That's how I feel, kind of.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be because I don't feel like it's gotten to as crazy as it was before COVID. Like around here, we'd have people
Yeah.
come in like every week touring and visiting and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, everything just shut down completely. Things are like back where people are visiting, but not as much as I thought.
That it
Everyone's
was.
back to normal as far as like social things and like doing stuff. Uh,
Yeah.
but I feel like in the fall it gets busier. Like
Yeah.
a lot of stuff going on, and then
What
we're
are you
gonna
guys doing? What are you guys doing in the fall?
we well we already went to Maine.
Yeah, that was so cool. I was actually
That
wanting to
was
hear more about
amazing.
that. That looked
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, we'll have to tell you more about that.
Yeah.
And
One
then
day.
end of September we go to Iceland for 9 days.
Oh,
So it'd be cool to
ooh.
do an Iceland pod.
Oh, that's so neat. I'm excited about that.
Iceland with our friends Ryan and Tashi, Chris and
Uh-huh.
Megan and Ashlyn. So that'll be fun. I feel like I don't I like that we plan trips not very far out. Like if
Yeah.
we would have planned it like a year ago, it would have felt like just like so long ago. But I don't think we really booked it until like late spring, early summer. So
Yeah.
then you only have like a few months to like get ready for it. And then I
Yeah.
haven't thought about it much. And then I watched it was actually funny. I watched No Reservations. The very first episode with
Yeah.
Bourdain is in Iceland. And it was so funny because he's done like so many shows. I mean,
Yeah.
he did so many shows, but it was like the first show and it was just so clunky. And he went to
Yeah.
like these weird banquets and people didn't know where to take him yet. And he didn't have like the fame that he ended up having.
Yeah.
So he kind of just like went to weird spots. It was in winter when it was dark a lot. Uh,
Oh,
it was just like it didn't get me like excited, but then um the more I look at like Instagram accounts and pictures and stuff, it's
yeah.
so like it's such a like visual, like I don't feel like you go to Iceland to um
Go to a coffee bar.
like go to yeah, like go around the cities. Like it'll
Yeah.
be cool to see Reykjavik, but I feel like it's more about driving and exploring and seeing
Yeah.
the the mountains and the and
I feel
everything.
like it is extremely visually stimulating
Yeah.
instead of other things that you would do other places. Yeah, yeah. I totally understand what you're saying.
And just the fact that we'll be together. Like we've been friends for a long time. We don't live in the same areas.
Yeah.
And so like to be all together and rent cars and stay in hostels and do like the whole thing will be like super fun.
That's cool. I'm jealous. I'd love to go do that.
Yeah. And it's nice because we have the Stewart airline, which is like, or Stewart airport right down the
Oh,
street, like
okay.
25, 30 minutes.
Okay.
And they have an international airport that goes through Iceland every day. So tickets are like super, it's through an airline called Play. So you can get like
Oh,
all over Europe
cool.
for like pretty cheap. So
That's amazing.
yeah, so it was like a not an expensive ticket. So
Oh, wow. That's awesome. It's funny because when we were going to go there, we were like, well, what do we want to do when we're there? We weren't going to be there long. We were only going to be there like 3 days, really quickly from in between. And it was funny because they're like, the Blue Lagoon and all that. It's like, oh, that's so touristy. But then we were like, well, if it's so touristy, maybe it's touristy for a reason. And it does seem like that, like you get on Pinterest and it's like a lot of bloggers and what they want to do. And maybe it does get more play than the
yeah,
other things that aren't quite as well known. And I think certain places, absolutely it's worth it to go somewhere and not do the touristy things. But for us to be doing a quick trip like that, just to be able to go and see something so weird and cool, it was
yeah,
worth it to still do it.
yeah. So
Like it was worth the hype.
you went for 3 days.
Yeah. We
Cool.
just went, we flew in, it was like in the middle of the night. I don't even remember. No, we got there actually at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And we took a bus to the Blue Lagoon and we spent one night there. Yeah, so we were there for 2 full days. But that day we did the Blue Lagoon for like a long time. Like we just because we knew we were going to be exhausted and we knew that we were going to be so tired that we wanted to do that kind of thing. And it was super, super, I mean, like it is exactly what they say. It's so unique. It's very mentally and visually, you're like, I've never seen something like this before. And then you just like have a robe and you're just walking around and there's huge locker rooms, lots of nudie patooties. So look out for that. That was quite shocking. But
Hold on to your butts.
hold on to your butts because there was a lot of butts.
But
But it's so funny because it does seem like Americans are definitely the most awkward about that stuff, of course. But it was funny because I was like, oh, yeah, well, I'll just like, switch my bathing suit in the locker room or whatever. And I go in the locker room and there's just like no doors. And it's just like everyone. I felt like I was already in Paradisaic times. I'm like, well, I guess this is what it'll be like. 5,000 women ushered together in a sweaty sauna room, just living it up, living La Vida Loca.
you're like, I'm imagining you like trying to change and like some mom is like, here, hold this. and you're like holding a ham sandwich for one of her kids while she tries to like change them, but you're like not dressed, so you're just standing there.
That's what it was like. It was literally like moms everywhere, old women, young women. It did not matter where they were from. This is what you do. And I immediately was like, I'm not normally like very prudish with that kind of stuff, but I was like, no, I am actually the prude in this room. It's me.
Well, the thing about like Americans, especially like if you go to the gym, it's not like the only people like in the men's side that are very comfortable just bearing all is
Yeah.
the oldest people on
There.
earth.
Yeah.
So everyone from like 75 down is like, or 70 down is like,
Yeah.
I'll try.
I'll
And
do
then
my
70
best.
plus, it's like, I'm gonna tie my shoes before I put underwear on.
I think it's time for me to do some manscaping. Let me just go
Yeah,
and get that going right now.
not in a stall, in the where
No,
everyone's.
out in the open.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
watch Sports Center on the
Yeah.
TV
Yeah. I
while.
got to get my socks on, but my feet are still moist. So it's going to be a struggle. Sick.
Oh my God, it's
Sick.
disgusting. Okay,
Disgusting.
well, let's get to let's get
Okay.
songs for the week. Wrap
Okay. Yeah.
this up, and then
The songs.
see you
The
next.
most stressful part of the pod for me, really, is the
How have
song.
you felt about your song so far? Have you listened to
I can't even listen. I'm too embarrassed.
why?
I never listen to mine. I always just skip to other people's, and I love other people's. And I'm always like, man, theirs are so good and mine are so lame.
I want I want Darren to hop on at some point and give me
We
some.
need to we need to do a pod where we interview Darren. I don't know what about because he could talk about so many things.
I love it. When could he do it? When's a good time to do a pod with Darren?
He's off on Wednesdays, but I work on Wednesdays. But you and him could do a 2 hour pod, just the two of you, no questions
I wonder
asked.
if Darren wants to do like a side pod, like a float too with Jake and Darren.
Oh, he could do, you guys absolutely could do a pod yourself, all about music and guy stuff. And
I'm gonna text him. Maybe we can do
yeah,
like it'd be like a side pod.
I know he probably would love it. So you know what? He'd probably start saying no to a lot of other things and yes, just to the pod,
Yeah.
which would be good because he probably should say yes to more things just for him and not like for other people.
Maybe I could do it like hey, do you want to do a pod tomorrow while Melissa's at work about like the running and all that and like what
Yeah.
you're training, and then we'll compare what you said about his training to
Oh,
what
I promise you. No, I would love it. I think he would love that. I think he would love that because he probably does have like a lot that he could talk about it if he had like a designated time to be like, I want to focus on like dissecting what it's been like. And then that could be like, you know what, every now and then you could even do that. We could do
we'll
like
call
no,
it happy trails, and it'll all be about like his his running, and then we can get Devin on for one, like where it's Devin and Darren and me, and it's just a like a running
then you
pod.
could do you and Darren and Crescinda, the girl that he's running with.
Oh man, on the
There's a
trails.
there's a guy that's running it too, Thomas, and he ran his mileage was no, he completed a run the other day that was quicker than Darren's,
Mm.
and he hadn't trained as much. I think his endurance and like his actual like I don't know what would that be called if it's not your endurance, but like you can force yourself. I don't know. I'd have to look into it more, but Darren was like, "Oh man, Thomas like beat my time on this." And we
Um,
were like, "What? That's crazy."
I
It
feel
would be
like I feel like a pod on like jogging and running would be something I'd like when we were in West Virginia for 2 weeks with Devin and Jenna, and we were
yeah,
working on like the cabin. You'd
yeah.
like go into like the living room and Devin would be up already because we were in the van, and we'd come into the house and Devin would be like sitting by the fire working, and he'd be listening to like a podcast, and it's just like
People just
you're trying to
talking.
like gather what the podcast is
Yeah.
about. And you're like,
Yes.
what are the who? What are you talk? What are they
Who
talking
are
about?
these people?
And it would be like, oh yeah, these two guys they run, so it's just
Yeah.
about running, and you're like, sounds horrible.
Oh yeah. Oh, whenever he would do that at our house, it was always about surfing
It was like
every
surf
single
guys.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would be
no, it
surf
was
guys.
always it was like surf guys talking about surfing and whatever else. So
Yeah, he's like doing his pour over, leaving my yoga mat out where it doesn't belong. And
that,
then he's like on this working, and then you just hear these two guys and you're like, yeah. And it was just like
and
crazy because
the Kooks were out this weekend. It was crazy everywhere.
yeah, and Devin's like blowing his nose because Pinky Beans has like been all over his face. I'm just like, you are wild. You're unhinged. Also, my yoga mat's still down. If you could wrap that up.
I feel like he's gonna have something to say about that.
Oh, he has to know it. It was like an everyday thing, 5 times a day. I'm like, you can't possibly stretch this often. He's like, I'm just leaving it down for the next person. I'm like, who? Who's next?
Who, Devin?
Who, Devin? Yeah, who's doing the stretching that you're doing at 7 a.m.? Not anybody in my home.
Oh man,
Okay.
we're gonna get Devin on soon. I tried to get him
Yeah.
on. He had to work.
Well, text Darren about tomorrow. I would love to have a Afloat 2.0, and it's you and Darren talking about like dude stuff. Also, do you know what would be so great is if Darren told you about these guys that he works with and stories about them. So these two guys, these two guys that Darren works with, they just flew to Georgia for the shop for work. They've never left Grant County in their whole life.
Oh my goodness.
They made it there safely. And what about killed them? What about ended the trip and ruined the whole thing is in Atlanta, Georgia airport. They'd never seen an escalator before.
Wow. Yeah.
I was crying, laughing. Like if you could, oh my God, what I would not give to have these guys. I'm just going to record them, voice memos on my phone when I see them this week and ask them questions and be like, I'm gonna play this on a podcast. Is that okay? And see what they say. You're not
If
going to
they
be able
don't
to
know what an
understand.
escalator is, they don't know what a podcast is.
No, they'll never know. But they'll
Yeah.
sign their life away. They'll sign their life away on it. No problem.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, I said, yeah, and then you need to park in the long-term parking. Oh God.
Oh no.
Oh God. It's like, no, it's just you park the car there and you get a ticket and don't forget where you. So what? You take a picture? Oh God. I'm not kidding. This was a solid 2 weeks of me and Darren at work laughing our butts off, Icelandic style, at these two guys, like just the actual horror in their voices about getting on this plane. The one
Oh,
guy said, I bought all new clothes for this. And I was like, oh wow, that's really nice. Everything's new. You want to know how much money I spent? I was like, how much money? He's like, well, I went to Walmart. So it was almost $200.
oh yeah. He got it full.
Oh, I said, yeah, well, you are going to want to look nice at the Takeuchi class.
I'm feeling like you walked in like Kenny Powers.
Oh God.
Not every like like
Yes.
yeah, like a
Yeah.
Kenny
Yeah.
Powers showed up. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm going to record them. I'm not even kidding. And even
Good.
if we can't put it on the pod, I've got to send it to you and Chelsea because it's so phenomenal.
All right. I like it.
Nobody told us about the escalator, Darren. We were dying. We were dying.
All right. 3 songs. Let's get out of here.
Oh shoot. Okay. Um
I have like my catch-all. I had a catch-all mix and it was got up to about 1,200 songs. And then I deleted the whole thing and started over. And now I'm at like,
Why did you delete it?
because I actually really hate Spotify because if you listen to certain songs, it just beats them down your throat all the time. It's like, I love the song
Oh,
Like Waiting Room from Fugazi is one of my favorite songs. It's like
Okay.
your Waiting Room. It's like, no, I know Waiting Room. Like you can play all of Fugazi. You don't have to play just Waiting Room. And this is what it does. It'll just like regurgitate the same like 15 songs
Yeah.
that I do all the time. And you're like, I have a mix of 1,000 songs and you're playing the same stupid, not stupid because I like it. It's my music, but
But sometimes it's true. Like sometimes I do feel like mine was Pandora. Like back in the day when I was on Pandora, like that was like, everybody listened to Pandora. It was the first like music, like radio station, whatever. And it would play the same stinking 100 songs endlessly. And I'm
yeah,
like, there's other music out there. I've got to find new music.
yeah. So I'll do
All right.
you want me to start?
I'm getting my list up right now.
All right.
I promise. I've got it up and ready to rock and roll.
Go for it. You start.
Okay. I'm just scrolling down because I can't do it all. Okay, Julia Jacqueline.
Julia
Love.
Jack
Yeah. Julia Jacqueline, love, try not to let go.
Julia Jacqueline Love Try Not to Let Go. Are you writing them down or am I?
I listened to this like 5 times.
Oh yeah. She listens to this pod like so many times editing that she doesn't have to write them down.
No,
Okay.
Chelsea is like so ahead of us all the time. I mean, it's hard to pull one over on Chelsea.
All right.
Okay, and Garden Song by Phoebe Bridges. I just want to throw that in there.
Okay.
Um, and then there was another one. No, not that one. Hold on. Where's the one? The girl. There's so many ones by Mia Joy that I want to put in there. Just
Mm,
listen to Mia Joy, I guess, in general. But hold on, I'm trying to find it. It wasn't. No, it's not that. Was it this? Let's do that one. It's Runner with 3 N's. Vines to make it all worth it. Like vines, Vines.
all right.
Let's just see. What do the
Okay.
people say? My biggest fear, I have two biggest fears with the pod. One, people hate my music. Two, they hate my voice. On podcasts, you can listen to a podcast and you can be like, I love that podcast, but I hate that one person.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
It's the hardest thing about trying to find a new pod. It'll be like some interesting subject and it's
And
like
the person is awful.
some some girl who's like, then what? And there's always like two of them. There's always like two girls, and like, guess what happened next? And like, I don't even know. And they're like, he died. It's like, why are you talking like that? It's so annoying. And then you could tell me like the best
Now
story.
I know. Now I know. And then it's just one of those things.
Shut up.
Shut up, Jake. And I'm like, immediately, I can't listen to it anymore. And then I'm like, what if that's me though? All right, what
No,
are your songs?
my
No,
son.
no, never. That's never you.
Oh man. All right, my songs. There's a band called Bad Nerves that I've liked lately. They're like a newer punk band. Baby Drummer. That's the song.
Ooh.
Um, there's like a random instrumental song that I like. The group is
Ooh.
called Macabre Plaza,
I've
and
I've heard of them before.
the song is A Bird's Last Look. Let's go with that one.
Okay.
And then there's a song called Heart Like a Truck by Lainey Wilson. Have you heard it?
No, but is it like a play off the other one?
It's like a country song. She's got a heart
Okay.
like a truck. It's been drugged through the mud.
Wait, I feel like
Chelsea
I
likes that
actually
song.
have heard that just on the radio here. No
All
joke.
right. I wouldn't be surprised. It's like a
No.
country song. Okay, well, I'm done.
Yeah, this blew.
Yeah. Felt like it ran by. It went like 7 minutes underwater.
Underwater. It was like a pillow to my face being
Yeah. And then just if the pillow stayed there and suffocated.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All
Anyway,
right.
I gotta go like clean lint out of the dryer, so I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, I gotta go clean lint on my belly button.
Ask Darren about that.
All right, bye.
Bye.